All right. How are you guys doing? Let me just change the screen. There we go. Hi guys, welcome to VR Essentials. Really happy to see you today as we're going to be doing a live stream with the CEOs and founder of Somnium Space, as well as Cybershoes in about 20-30 minutes or so. First, what I'm going to do, of course, is read all your comments, talk about all the various different things that we have been doing recently. And guys, don't be shy. It's almost, I think it's 11:30. It's more than 11:30 here in Singapore, but it's all good. Really lovely to spend some time with you guys. How have you been? How's your weekend going? Where are you guys from? Is it your morning, your afternoon, or your evening, late at night like myself? Leave a comment below. Let me know where you guys are from. And also, what VR headset do you guys use? I'm always curious to know, what VR headset people use. As you can see behind there, we have the HP Reverb G2 with the DPVR E4 and also the Pico 4. As I've been doing a lot of testing, a lot of various different live streams and stuff. So, and yesterday we did some Half-Life Alyx with the DPVR E4 as well. Hey, Alex VR, what's up, my man? Yes, my brother. Thank you very much for coming to the stream. It's very generous of you, and I hope to be doing some live streams with you and Skiva. Also, guys, do go and check out Between Realities. They have an awesome channel. If I just go very quickly now, there we go here, boom, boom. And I'm going to be reading out all your different comments, guys. So it's going to be very, very cool. Let me go to Between Realities. These guys are absolutely amazing what they do. Honestly speaking, they need a lot. You guys need to go to the channel. And when you go to the channel, please let them know you came from VR Essentials, as they do a lot of different live streams with a lot of different, industry professionals. Very recently, they did one, of course, the VRML Con 2023. It was the last one, if I'm not wrong, with Echo VR. The last Echo VR, everybody. That was, can you believe it? That Echo VR is no more, as Meta have taken down Echo VR. That is it. There's no more Echo VR, I heard. So that was the last stream that they did very recently. And also, they did another interview with Marvel's Iron Man's VR's Ryan Payton. They've done so many different live streams with so many different people and industry professionals, including Gamertag, Cass and Chari, just so many different people. Steve knows, a whole bunch of other content creators, but also gamers and developers and publishers and just absolutely everybody, guys. So do go and say hello to Between Realities from the VR Essentials channel, as these guys are absolutely awesome. So guys, let me go and read some comments from you first before we start the stream tonight. And I'm going to start with some that I didn't respond yet. So this is in regards to the live DPVR E4 Half-Life Alyx gameplay and graphics that we did yesterday. If I just go to the channel, here we go here. So we've been doing a lot of different live streams. As you know, guys, I've been taking a break for about 3 months. It's nice to be back. I have to admit, it is really nice to be back, but I'm not yet ready to do pre-recorded content due to time constraints. But we did some DPVR E4 live streaming yesterday with Half-Life Alyx, and there were a few issues streaming. And I did do a comparison with the HP Reverb G2 as well. So do go and check that out. We also did, of course, the live unboxing of the DPVR as well, with my first impressions, comparing the comfort, the FOV, the build quality and all these different things to the Pico 4 and also the HP Reverb G2. So do go and check that one out as well. And we also did a very cool live stream with the VR Realm, very, very cool guy who has a very cool Twitch stream channel, which is twitch.tv/TheVRRealm, and he gave us some really, really awesome tips, guys, about the DPVR E4, as he's actually been using it for quite some time. So if you want to know more or you want some insider tips and tricks, we did absolutely everything together. We did the setup, we did the settings, everything together, and he was guiding me as to what to do, what not to do. So if you want to know inside secrets about the DPVR E4, guys, do go. Plenty more of live streams as we go, at least 2 live streams every week on the channel, doing some gaming with the Pico 4, HP Reverb G2 and the DPVR E4, of course. And also do go here, go to here, So let me just go to our channel. Go and vote. So just go to, oops, wrong link. Go to the channel. So go to VR Essentials and then go to community, and you'll see here that there's a vote at the moment for the next live stream that I should be doing next weekend on June 17, as June 16 it will be my wife's birthday. So exceptionally, I won't be live streaming on the 16th, but on the 17th, I will be doing another live stream with the DPVR E4. So do go and vote. Let me know, which game you want me to live stream with the DPVR E4. It will be a special car sims using Assetto Corsa, Automobilista 2, Dirt Rally 2, or After the 4. So do go and vote. At the moment, we are tied between Assetto Corsa, and AMS 2. So do go and please vote for that one and let me know which one you want me to play on June 16. All right. Let's go and read some comments by Wilson Bradley, the official. Thank you very much for your comment. When you were moving around, there was lag, stuttering with the display system. It seems performance things going on. Yes, so I was having some issues basically with the software and DPVR E4. It seems that the HP Reverb G2 can handle the software much better when I'm streaming with OBS and all these kind of things than the DPVR, funnily enough. And we did do some testing with the 90 Hz and also the 120 Hz. So I don't know what's going on there, but I will do a separate video, and this one a pre-recorded one, to confirm whether it's an issue with Half-Life Alyx or whether it was just an issue with the OBS software. All right, so you also had another question. Sorry if I missed it. These have inside tracking, no base stations needed, correct? Yes, so Wilson, you do not need base stations for the DPVR E4. Absolutely not. You do not need base stations. Everything is inside tracking. And guys, do leave some comments below. Let us know what questions you want to ask tonight so I can pick them up, read them, and then, ask the guys from Somnium Space and also Cybershoes, what questions you might have. Leave them in the comments below, as I will be scrolling up and down as well, all the various different questions that you may have. All right, let me get rid of this. Boom, held for review. No, published. I think someone's on the call. I can hear some volume. Oh, it must be the streams. Okay, there we go. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. So they're going to be joining the call in about 10 or 15 minutes, probably 20 minutes from now. So we'll be starting the AMA in around 20 minutes time, guys. Right, so let me read some more questions from you, some more comments from you guys that I have responded to already. Okay, let me go to filter. Okay, I guess it will show all the various comments. Yes, okay. All right, let me go to some comments I have not read before. All right, let's go to this one. Shafto Forever says, great vid, but the web shop you mentioned where to purchase lens insert specifically states HP Reverb G2 lenses for V1 only. Do you have any experience if that is really the case, or do I really need different lenses? Let me just make this bigger so you can see. There we go. So this is about the extra FOV with the HP Reverb G2. Here's what you need to know. Do you have experience if that is really the case, or do I really need different lenses for V2? No. So the VR-Wave store, who are the people I deal with, and do go to the description below, use the VR Essentials promo code for 5% discount. They sent me two pairs. So the first pair was the version 1 and the second pair was version 2. You do not need a new VR headset for version 2, okay? And the version 2 are just easier to put inside because you just insert, twist, boom, it's done. And they're a little bit, they're not cut the same as the version 1. Version 1 was straight. Version 2 are a little bit more slanted. So you can't, the version 1, you could still feel it against your glasses a little bit. But version 2, you cannot anymore. So the version 2 have come out for quite a while now, more than 6 months, or more than 8 months even. So I hope that answers your question if you're watching today's video. Okay, let's go to another comment. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, 123 Thedman 1 says in regards to, wow, I learned how to drive a car in VR using the HP Reverb G2. City driving app, which is a very cool app, guys. Do go and try it. Hi, if you're going to suggest a previous video, it would be good to leave a link somewhere. I'm so sorry for that. Very, very sorry for that. You're absolutely right. I always say I'm going to put a link in the description below, like I always do, but I just forget. I'm so sorry. I'll try my best not to forget next time. All right, let's go to another video, maybe this time about the Pico 4. Toss ANV says, I have a Quest 2, then took the PSVR 2, which is trash, oh dear, and I sent it back after a week, now aiming for G2, okay? Saw your earlier videos, do you still consider G2 to be good? Heard they will exit out of the market, but I ordered directly from HP and it seems 2 months delayed shipping. However, Pico 4 is available easily, but I was not happy with Quest 2 PC link quality with all the compressions, etc. So this is about the Pico 4 Ultimate No Man's Sky Graphics Guide 2023, and I do recommend you guys go and watch this video, as there are plenty of insights comparing 2 different Wi-Fi 6 routers by Asus. So yes, I still recommend the G2. However, do make sure that they are sending them out, because they did close down a lot of the VR division since the video was made. The Pico 4 is a very, very good headset, no doubt. And also when you're streaming it with the virtual desktop, I've done plenty of videos about this, and it is a very, very decent headset. However, the reason why it's not my go-to headset still today for PC VR is simply because I just have a lot of problems every time that I turn it on. There's always something with the software, there's an issue, and I have to fix it. Even though it takes me 2 minutes sometimes, or a minute to have to fix something, I have to restart my computer sometimes. So it's always touch and go. So, with the HP Reverb G2, I just press a button, twist it on, switch on the software, boom, and inside of Steam VR, I have no issues whatsoever. So, that's the difference, and that's why I don't use my Pico 4 for PC VR. However, if you want a good PC VR headset that also does standalone, then obviously the Pico 4 is better than the Quest 2. Why? Because it's got better specs. No one can argue with that, right? No one can argue with that. But in terms of ecosystem, in terms of multiplayer, sustainability, playing with other people, library games, even though they're getting there, at the end of the day, the meta ecosystem is definitely much better than the Pico. But Pico are itching here and there. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. It will probably take them another, I would say, good couple of years, even maybe 3 years, who knows, before they're really at the same level of meta in the sense of hand tracking, and also in terms of the multiplayer playability and being able to hang out with people and do a lot of different things, and also their graphics really getting to a standard where it's really, really wow, right? But we're all quite excited about the Oculus Meta Quest 3, to be honest with you, even though I haven't used the Meta Quest 2. A lot of people know why, but I wouldn't get the Quest 2 personally, simply because, well, the Quest 3 is about to be launched soon in a few months. The specs are going to be released pretty much soon, so it's going to be very interesting to see whether the Quest 3, of course, is going to be better than the Pico 4, no doubt, but by how much exactly? What is it that they're going to offer that's better than ByteDance? All these kind of different things, and also the IPD. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of click, 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 click IPDs. I rather have an IPD where I can manually set things, or set them to the millimeter or to the 5mm degree, to have a much better experience in VR. And I wouldn't get this with the Quest 2, so that's really why I would not get the Quest 2 today, to be honest with you. But I was really surprised that the Quest 3 would only cost $500 after all the various reports online were saying that it was going to cost between, I don't know, $800. Have a cyber chair, which is really awesome. It's the one I'm sitting on now, by the way. I use it as my desk chair now, by the way, guys. And because it's just so comfortable. So I don't only use it for VR, I also use it as my actual day chair for the whole day long. Whenever I'm sitting down behind my desk, streams with them too. It is coming back on. All right, it's live again. Let me go to... All right, we should be live again once more. I'm so sorry, guys. One of the wires got disconnected in the other room by mistake. So we are back. Very sorry. Everything's all right. Everything's all right. It's not the ISP. It's not the internet service company who switched us off. That would be really annoying. Although, to be honest, it has happened before. It has happened before where my internet service provider just stopped the internet. And also last time when we were doing the Apple, I'm going to have to be very careful today. I'm not going to take the risk in playing videos by the Apple live stream again, because last time They literally like took us off in the middle of the live stream, and then they gave us a copyright strike, which I couldn't believe. And I wrote to them, but luckily, thank God, they decided to revoke the strike and also, you know, let us continue. So thanks, YouTube. You know, you didn't have to give us a strike back, of course. So the fact that they did, I'm still thankful, but nonetheless, we had to go through all that jazz. All right, so just waiting for Arthur now to... Okay, another 6 minutes before we start the stream, guys. So what was I saying? Oh, yes, we were at Cybershoes website. So, guys, do go to the cybershoes.io's website and check what these guys are doing. And you can sign up for the newsletter and all the different kind of stuff. Video, I think it's a really cool video. So do go and check out this video, which was all about the unboxing of Cybershoes. You can find it on our channel, or you can find it at the Cybershoes YouTube channel as well. So do go and subscribe to the channel as well. Leave some comments at the channel. Let them know that you came from VR Essentials. All right, let's read one more comment before we're going to be starting out on the call and all these different things. All right, I don't think they're on the call yet, right? No, they'll be coming very soon, guys, so do hang tight. All right, let's read some more comments. VR Emirates says, waiting 1,000 hours later video for the Pico 4. I think I've done 1,000 videos. I think it's pretty safe to say I've done 1,000 videos with the Pico 4. I'm pretty sure now. So thank you very much, VR Emirate, for your comment. Another comment. Okay, N7 Alpha says it requires you to have an iPhone XR to buy the HMD for face scan RIP Android users. Yes, that is very true. So this is about the PC VR headset, the big screen VR headset. You do need an iOS phone in order to use the scanning software inside to scan the actual face. And then you'll send the file back to big screen, and they'll be able to then print the actual facial interface for you to be custom. So if you have an Android iPhone, well, unfortunately, not at the moment. Apparently, it's not compatible. So yeah, I think that's the big bummer at the moment. But you know, I'm sure you have a friend. If someone is interested in purchasing that headset, I'm sure you could get a friend just to scan, you know, for you, and then you could send that file back to, you know, to Cybershoes. So guys, yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Apple Vision Pro with those guys. We're going to be finding out a lot about, you know, what they think about the actual headset, you know, and also what it all means in terms of the industry. How is it going to impact them? We're also going to find out more information about Cybershoes themselves and also Somnium Space. And let me just go very quickly to Somnium Space, guys, to introduce to you who Somnium Space is, just in case you're not familiar with her. Okay, let me go to Somnium Space. Let me go to trailer. So Somnium Space, by the way, guys, are a VR social media metaverse space that are hooked up to the blockchain as well. So let me just play let me get rid of the music just for a minute. There we go. Let me just play the trailer.
Ever since Somnium Space has been founded, there was only
they're doing, and I'm going to be asking them a ton of questions about, you know, what does it mean in terms of because they have other stuff going on, by the way, guys. Let me check this out. They also have a VR headset.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and I'm the founder and CEO of Somnium Space. And today, I would love to share with you the latest update about our Somnium VR1 headset. I know you've been waiting for a long time for this one. Yes, I've been waiting for that as well. We've been working really hard since CES in January 2023
so they did do an update about the actual VR headset itself,
I would love to go
the VR1.
You know, all the updates we have and all the goodness we have prepared for you
looking at this and talking
about the
to
headset.
him. This
now,
will be,
probably if you're watching this video, somewhere around this video,
today.
around this post, there is a link to our Medium article. I encourage you to find it because
is already on the call, which is really
go
awesome.
Through some main points.
Arthur, just give me a minute. I'm showing your video, and also we're waiting for Michael as well. So
definitely comment
there we go.
Below or up to this update. So in the post, you'll be able to see
the actual
final design of
headset.
VR1.
Boom. Is there a video of the headset? There was one. Okay, let me go to the Somnium. And guys, do go to the Somnium Space YouTube channel as well, where they post all their updates and stuff, so that you can be notified about all the various different things that they are doing.
Do you know that you could actually be generating profits with very...
So this is one of the headset demos with the pass-through that they're doing. So they're not showing the headset, of course, keeping it very hush-hush. Artful, welcome to the stream, my friend. Very nice to see you again. And Creative Experiments, thank you very much for your comment. Do leave all your questions, guys, in the comments that you want to ask Somnium Space or that you want to ask Cybershoes tonight, as we're going to be talking about the Apple Vision Pro and everything else about the metaverse. All right, so Michael, whenever you're ready, do go inside of the call. Let me see if he's in the call. All right, so they are both there. Awesome. Hey guys, what's up? Let me change the layout to tiled. Okay. And they should be... Want to join the call? Yes, they can join the call. Okay, there we go. Admit and admit. All right, they're both there. Awesome. Here they are. Hi guys, you're live. You're on the call. Let me just get rid of some sound coming from somewhere. I think it's here. There we go. Yeah, you're live, guys. How are you doing? Want more to enjoy longer calls with Google Premium. How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me? Testing 1, 2. Arthur, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you for some reason though. Michael, can you hear me? All right, let me go to the settings and let me just double. Oh, that's why I can't hear you. No wonder. All right, testing 1, 2. Let's do a sound test, guys. R2, test.
Hello,
1, 2.
we can hear you. Hi.
All right, awesome. Michael, can you hear? Michael, testing 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Let me just ask the chat if the sound is okay. So chat, guys, let us know if you can't hear them. All right, let me put it. We
can check. Let's check.
Yeah, chat. If you can't hear them, let me know. There's not much more I personally can do, other than turn down my microphone to try and level with them.
Yes, I can hear you.
Otherwise, you might have to up your volume. All right, guys. So
it's all good. It's all good.
Excited to have you on the call. Thank you very much for your time, guys. I know how hyper busy you guys are and doing all your types of different things. So we're talking about, yeah. So today I got two sounds coming, one from the ear and one from you. So let me just turn down my phone. There we go. And I'll turn up this. There we go. So guys, the Apple Vision Pro has been announced, not launched yet. We're going to be talking about, of course, Somnium Space stuff as well as Cybershoes stuff too. So we are going to be getting to that. And chat, do put your questions in the comments as well, so I can ask your questions to these guys. We have R2, the CEO and founder of Somnium Space, who's wearing the Somnium Space t-shirt, and Michael, who has the Cybershoes t-shirt. Guys, you need to send me some t-shirts so I can wear it on the on the stream.
You got it. You got it.
That'd be really awesome. And yeah, so guys, R2, let's start with you. So because what's very interesting about you is you're also developing your own VR headset. So how did you take the news about Apple, finally announcing the potential, the launch of the VR headset coming out next year?
Yeah, I mean, we were really excited, and I was super excited about that. And the anticipation was huge, and I'm pretty sure we'll go deeper into details. But my expectations were really high, and I think Apple has beaten them, which is amazing. So we all, we had a viewing party in the office. So we're watching, like, Somnium team and VR engineers team were watching together the Apple release, and it's super exciting. It's super exciting, and it will definitely help the market in general. I mean, Apple headset is not a competitor to Somnium VR1 headset. It's a completely different category. It's a completely different headset, but it validates the whole industry, and it will introduce millions of people to the idea of VR and XR and in general spatial computing. So it's exciting. We're super excited about that.
And what about you guys, Michael? What was the atmosphere like when you heard, Apple's spiel in announcing the headset?
Yeah, we are definitely super happy that finally they decided to bring this to the market, or at least to announce it. And I can tell that it's going to be a huge step for the interaction with the virtual and extended world. I think this is the biggest deal in here.
And so, are we going to say the metaverse, or are we going to say spatial computing? Because there seems to be a difference in jargon in how to explain what the metaverse is. What do you think, Arthur?
I mean, look, the metaverse term has been abused so much in the past 2 years, in all wrong possible ways that I'm fine not using the metaverse. We used the metaverse in the past before we started when the metaverse was not even in. Nobody talked about the metaverse. So we called ourselves, social VR platform. We are social VR platform. So to me, if it's a metaverse or non-metaverse, doesn't matter. What matters is what actually people will do in it. And I think the metaverse is the spatial computing. It's it's this one whole thing, which cannot be kind of split and divided. So again, it doesn't matter whether we call it whatever we call it. It will still be there, and it will still evolve, and it will still be flourishing. So who cares?
Yeah, whatever we call it. Michael, what about you? What do you think?
Well, for me, it's clearly spatial computing. It's a variable computer with a huge display, and they really think. I think they design the thing from ground up, and they don't care about the metaverse at the moment. And for many points, I think this is a reasonable decision, although it's kind of hurting that gaming and the metaverse is not a deal at the moment. It's all about lifestyle and productivity. But I think in the last 10 years, the industry has evolved very far, and we have started dreaming about the metaverse and using the metaverse. But the first steps are still in a kind of a prototyping, duct tape prototyping state. So I hope they are going to fix that.
Right.
I think what Apple is doing is the metaverse. Like, it's, again, whatever we call, but it can be easily called a metaverse because, when you are in the spatial computing, you are not alone there. You can call with people, and you have FaceTime, you have 3D FaceTime with some others. I think that's the metaverse. And apps and other games in it, it's just a part of the metaverse, right? It's one big digital realm. To me, that's the metaverse. But whether we call it a metaverse or not, it doesn't matter. That's what I wanted to say.
Right. And Michael, I wanted to ask you also, have Apple contacted you yet in terms of developing Cybershoes for their platform? How easy is it to adapt your your technology to, because I would imagine it's going to work for Somnium Space at some point or another if you guys haven't yet spoken to each other about trying to make it compatible for their future VR headset. Tell us more in terms of the process, how you get Cybershoes to work with all these various different VR headsets and how complicated it can be.
So good news is that Cybershoes is already today compatible with the Apple Vision Pro headset, because they have added gamepad support. When you see that in their trailer, You see someone with the gamepad playing a flat TV game. So, and we have one receiver, that's the white receiver, that's compatible with the Quest and with the Pico, and of course also with the Apple headset, because it's a gamepad, and what it does, it picks up the direction what you're viewing with the head and compares it with the direction of the shoes. So that's how you can do this strafing, like you can look into one direction and walk into the other direction, without interfering with the system itself.
Right. And Arthur, have you guys spoken yet? Is it compatible with your headset?
I mean, we didn't speak yet, but honestly, I think integrating would be an easy breathe if you have an SDK or I don't even think that it's needed, right? Because if what you're describing, it can work out of the box. If we're compatible with the gamepads, then it's out of the box. So I don't think even integration is needed. People can start using it right away.
Okay. And Arthur, I wanted to ask you, because you guys have been developing your own headset now. I mean, how complicated of a journey, is it to develop something like this? And when you saw the Apple headset, did it really instinctively tell you, well, these guys have spent, they must have spent tremendous amount of time and money in trying to come up with a design and, in terms of how it actually looks and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, developing a headset is incredibly complicated, especially for the companies of not a size of Apple. We are not, we're not Apple. So for us, even though we're doing it together with VR engineers, and these are one of the best people in the world to develop VR headsets, it's a very complicated process. And definitely when I saw VR Apple headset, I realized, or not realized, it was kind of obvious that they should have worked on that for a long period of time. They definitely went through iterations. So let's say they worked on it for 8-9 years, but it doesn't mean that they worked on this headset which we see today for the whole 8 years, right? It meant that they developed something, they probably scrapped something, they kept some things for the next iteration, and then they iterated, and they watched the market, they observed the market, and then they came up to what they came up, and what they released is a very correct way of releasing things. That's the headset what has been kind of missing. It has everything it needs to have. It's rightfully expensive because it has a lot of tech in it. So we saw the build of materials is like 1.6K, which is quite insane. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, making headset is very complicated journey, because making a prototype is one thing, taking it to the industrial design is another thing. They design full manufacturing and scale manufacturing as a and you have those components, right? The board, electrical board, and all the peripherals, and connecting this together, and heat dissipation. Like there's so many things which come into the headset, and ergonomics, of course, and everything else, opticals, the system. So yeah, it's a journey. Like we are working on our headset for over 2 years now already, and we're finally here, in 2023, ready to be releasing the headset. But it's a hell of a journey, I have to say. It's expensive, it's complicated. It's a little bit of roller coaster in terms of what's possible, what's not, trying to push the boundaries. Yeah, but it's very interesting. It's super inspiring, and it's kind of, if you believe in what you do, and I'm pretty sure Michael also can confirm, it's an exciting journey. As difficult as it is, it's super exciting.
Yeah. And Michael, what are some of the specs on the headset that you saw during the launch, or that you read in other articles afterwards, that you're pretty excited about?
In terms of hardware, I think it's the resolution, of course. Then the outward-facing display.
It's 4,000 dpi per eye, right? Or is it in total?
Yeah.
It's 8K in total and 4,000 per eye. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's 3 point, like depending what shape of the headset it is, it's either like 3.4K per 3.4K per eye. So 3,400 per screen. Or if it's rectangular, it's probably something like 3.9K times 3K or something like that. So it depends on the shape of the display they have. But it's like, I don't think it's like 4K exactly, but it's very close and it's super crisp, because like our headset will have 2.9K per eye. So 2.9 by 2.9K. That's already extremely high.
Good.
Yeah,
it's really like you can't see pixels. Like as much as I test our headset, and as many times as I look through it and I film it, like you can't see pixels. And then Apple took it to the next level, and it's great to see that they did, because they also use OLED screens and some micro OLED screens. So, I mean, it's an amazing headset what they did.
Sorry to interrupt you, Michael, but the G2, Michael, have you tried the HP Reverb G2?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing experience. The blacks, even though it's not micro OLED, are super contrasty. When you do a horror or something with suspense, a thriller, kind of game, you really do feel it, especially if you're someone who's not, who gets the wobbly legs quite easily. You definitely feel it. I mean, it does an amazing job also in terms of the. I mean, I think many headsets today, including the other ones that are out at the moment, even the Pico 4, to be honest, are doing an amazing job in terms of screen door effect. You don't really get to see the pixels anymore. I mean, we really are getting there to the next level. But Michael, you were telling us what you were excited about in terms of the specs on the Vision Pro.
So I would be excited if the resolution is that good that I can pick up my cell phone and use it as I'm using my cell phone without a headset, because
it is. The reporter said it is. Several people reported that they were able to read easily the phone, no problem at all.
Oh, you mean the text?
Everything. I think Ben from Road to VR wrote that it's an easy test for the pass-through. Sorry, Michael, that I interrupted, but I just wanted to say that the people wrote the reviews, and those who tried, they said, yeah, try the phone. It's perfectly readable. So that's an amazing test, of course.
Yeah, I think this is very important, because what I experience with VR headsets and working with VR headsets is that you always want to put it off, because you want to type something and you have the controls in your hand.
Right.
That's a no-go. I mean, we have been using like our hands. That's come from evolution for thousands of years, and we are so good with our hands, and the controller is a kind of limiting. You want to write something down. You want to check on your phone the description, how to load a game or what you want to do, and so on. So this can be very good, I think.
You can also do typing, but I'm not sure how that. I haven't tried the Quest Pro, so I don't know whether you can see the keyboard with the Logitech Pro keyboard and you're typing, or whether you have to be in mixed reality pass-through to see the keyboard, because that would be kind of tough not to be able to know what keys you're typing on. I mean, some people can do it, right? They can type without looking.
Quest Pro pass-through is actually really not good. Like,
still not there.
It's worse than the Pico.
Yes.
No, it can't be worse than the Pico. Are you sure?
Definitely worse. Yes.
Wow.
100%. It's worse than Pico 4, and it's worse than Lynx R1.
Okay.
Lynx R1 has actually a great pass-through, given on the thinness and stuff of the headset. So Lynx is definitely better than Quest Pro. Pico is better than Quest Pro, but it's amazing. Not stereoscopic.
Guys, it has one camera. Live that the Pico 4 pass-through mixed reality is better.
100%. I stand by what I say. 100%. We Pico 4 pass-through, even though it's not stereoscopic, it's better than Quest Pro. It's not even a question.
There are some issues with the Pico 4 one, to be honest with you. So I'm very surprised to hear this.
Pico 4 is an amazing headset. I've been saying it. It's an amazing headset. It's just such a good headset for the price they're asking for it. It's 429 euros.
Well, they're subsidizing it.
I always said like
worth more, but they can, they're eating in their.
Of course, but I mean, the Quest is also subsidized. So I've always said, like, for the last six months, I said to all of our colleagues and stuff, I said, look, Pico 4 is today what Quest 3 wants to be tomorrow.
Right.
So
I read that.
point. Like Pico 4 has almost everything Quest 3 will have, and it has it already today. So it has great lenses, great sweet spot, huge lenses actually, great FOV, like 105, 107, so close to Valve Index FOV. It has great design. It's a very like this one. It's very light headset. It's just an amazing machine. And even if they just refresh this, they don't even need to make a new headset. They just need to refresh it. This one has eye tracking inside because it's a
the Pro version does. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So if they just do this version but for consumers and just update a little bit of RAM and that's it, it will compete with Quest 3 easily.
I mean, unless the Quest 3 really come out with something outstanding.
Yeah, but Quest 3 doesn't have eye tracking. That's already pretty big no-go because you cannot utilize forwarded rendering. You cannot do many things with what this headset can do, for example.
Right.
Maybe not today, but they have they have 4 months to release the updated version, and then they don't need to change anything. It's already great.
It's true, and it is very light. And I mean, as a standalone VR headset, it's amazing. Artu, do you use it? Do you use the Pico with the PC? Do you use virtual desktop?
I use so my 2 daily drivers right now are Valve Index and Pico 4. Okay. I use both of them. Of course, I use Pico 4 for standalone stuff, but mainly a few games like Hyperdash.
Hyperdash,
I use Pico 4 with virtual desktop to do PC VR. But most of the time when I do full body tracking in Somnium and stuff, I just use Valve Index because Valve Index is still a great headset. Yes, the resolution is already not there, but field of view is great. The ergonomics is good. So for me, Valve Index, and I can't wait to kind of replace by this beast when we release it.
You mean the Valve?
But so
yours,
far,
of course, yours, yes.
Yeah. But so far we don't have the the version which I would be using on a daily basis. But we're coming close to this. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much my combo: Pico 4 and Valve Index right now.
Would we see your headset in 2023, or are you looking at 2024?
No, for sure you'll see our headset in 2023.
2023, okay. Oh, that's very exciting.
Unless something horrible happens, but there's so many streams of, we have several teams working on the production.
Of course.
We have several electrical engineers who are finalizing the pre-production drawings of the board. So we had working boards before, but now we're kind of utilizing the to fit it in the exact shapes because we went through different design iterations. This one was the CES one. We have the new one which we released recently, and lenses are already in production, in the mass production.
Oh, that's great.
And the board will be the electrical board will be entering. I mean, there's several boards, but the bigger one will be entering the production. I would say in a month, depending on how the guys will handle it, because it's a very complex one actually. I mean. Kudos to Apple because they did
right? It does look like a beast.
One. It's very complex. I mean, it's a very complex process. And some things you cannot
just. It's a modular headset, right? If I understand correctly.
Sorry?
It's a modular headset. Is that right?
It's a modular headset, but it's just there's so many things coming in, right? Because you have pass-through cameras, stereoscopic, very high quality pass-through cameras. You have hand tracking, you have eye tracking. We have quite complex and unique optical system consisting of it's aspheric lenses, but it's like two aspheric lenses to each other, angled in a special way. Because I know our FOV is 125. Wow. I mean, depending on your IPD, it will be 120 plus, but the real one. So to achieve that, we need to angle things in a certain way, and we need to put two lenses. It's a very complex system. That's why it's taking time. And honestly, I don't want to rush in the last moment and do some blips to just rush things. If it's plus minus 1 month, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. We want to make it right, and we want to make it right from the beginning. So
actually, Michael, I wanted to ask you about this in terms of timing, because you're also working on something yourself, and it seems that Apple are not going to release their headset, let's say Christmas time. So they're going to do it in 2024. They're going to miss that kind of period. Now you're working on something new as well that you feel free to talk about if you wish to. In terms of what you can say, how important are those kind of dates, or in terms of the release dates in your marketing, and if you have your product that's really way before your marketing date, would you release it before, or do you release it at a specific date? I mean, how important are the dates for releases?
Yeah, we have something in the pipeline, but we are not going to release it yet. I can talk about it a little bit, but we just don't see that the time is right at the moment. So in terms of what I'm excited about is that they have finally released the headset,
right.
Apple. And when I remember like 2007, when they introduced the iPhone, there have been like similar phones on the market for almost 10 years. And in the first years, I didn't have an iPhone. And I met some people who had an iPhone, and they were complaining, and because they wanted to take pictures, and they said, yeah, it's good for taking pictures, and well, yeah. So it was clearly, but that the interface, the user interface, was going to be the biggest deal. Like being able to use the finger to press a button, the most natural way of interacting with the surface. And this flexibility, it took another couple of years until a close friend had an iPhone. It was in 2010. And I remember when we were sitting on the street in Istanbul, we were doing an art installation in Istanbul. And before that date, we were having like discussions, and nobody could be proved right or wrong. But at that moment, he was pulling out the iPhone and was just looking this up. And this was really new back then, that you could prove yourself a point or look something up on the go. And it took another 10 years until like everybody nowadays in the developed countries like already must have this device. So I see that it's going to take another 5 years until we see like a wide adoption. Until we see, I would say 10 years until a wide adoption, and 5 years until I think it's a good time to start something.
I agree. And you know what's great? The timer has started to click down. Like that's the most important part. You know, the timer is already clicking, and the time is coming, because once they enter the market, we know that, like, if I calculate correctly, 2025 September will be the first time they will release the second gen of this headset, probably 2 different variants, because 2024 will be the first year, then the next year will be, like probably 2025, somewhere there.
Do you really think they're going to release a new headset every year like they do with the iPhone? I mean, Meta.
No, I don't. I don't think in the first iteration, definitely not. Maybe later down the line, but in the first iteration, I think 2 years will pass. So because it really will go into production or into deliveries next year. So next year, I don't expect on the keynote in September to release anything. They might upgrade some things in terms of software. They will always do.
They might do another demo or something.
Exactly, but there will be another release 2025, either WWDC or September keynote, where they will probably release a second version of it. So there will be a Pro one, but there will be one which will be probably more or less expensive. And more for the consumers. But you're right. Yeah, it's like 5-7 years until it gets to a point where, first of all, it's amazing. And those apps are, they're already killer apps, by the way, for what they've shown. But there will be much more killer apps because developers will take advantage of that. So, but the timer is, the time is clicking already. We know when it happens. Plus, minus few years, doesn't matter. The moment has come, let's say.
Yeah, I think we are in the second phase now.
Mm-hmm.
And what should be changing now is what they are delivering with the gaze interface. Because I've been trying eye tracking, and I was never convinced by it. It was either not accurate or it couldn't calibrate me well.
Right. And it's their own technology, I understand, that they've actually developed, right, for the eye gazing. So
yeah, I guess this is maybe the biggest part of it. I think for 5 years they have been into AI, machine learning, and neuroscience. And what I read is that they are trying to understand not only your focus, they are trying because I read that in the iris you can see the anticipation of whether you're going to click something or not, the anticipation of what's going to happen. And if from it seems to work already, and that's of course the biggest point. If you can quickly if this interface is working really fast.
Right, and also they're using their own chips. Arthur, are you using the Qualcomm chip, or are you guys developing your own as well?
No. We actually, in the beginning, the idea was to make a standalone and PCVR headset, both 2 in 1. And then after we started the development, we quickly realized that that's not the way to go, because when you do that, you will never deliver best of both worlds. It's impossible. Many reasons on that. Anywhere from like size to weight to heat to drawbacks you will get from that. So we spent some time developing that, and then we kind of kept the two parallels. And then we just cut at one point. I just made a decision to cut the standalone part development, and we went into the PCVR stream and kind of put all the efforts there. And that was a great decision, because we are PCVR with lighthouse tracking, trying to be the best and the most versatile PCVR headset for people, for developers, for indie developers, for companies. No hidden licenses, nothing there. Just you buy the headset, you own it, and up to you what you do with it. And obviously, we'll give you access to all the sensors. We'll open source everything we can. There will be some parts we cannot open source because, like for example, like the hand tracking and stuff. We from Ultraleap we cannot do it.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of, we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, everything else will be open sourced and open to you as a developer, and you just do whatever you want with it, to be honest.
So you believe that lighthouse tracking still has a future?
I believe lighthouse tracking still has a future, and I am convinced that it's still the best and the most precise tracking on the market today.
It definitely is.
There's no system which is better. I mean, honestly, I understand for many users, having a standalone, inside-out tracking for cameras, it's fine. It is fine. It is definitely fine. But then there is a big segment of a market where people need that precision, whether it's social VR, full body tracking, whether it's motion capturing, whether it's whatever you name it. That there is probably 10 different use cases where lighthouse tracking is the best. And I believe that for at least, I don't think it will ever go away in a way that it will still be used in some cases, but I think for next 5 years it will still be mainstream thing. So
I just want to thank everybody in the chat as well for their comments and stuff. And guys, if you have any questions to ask Arthur or Michael from Somnium Space or from Cybershoes,
can I answer the question? So the knucklehead, some knucklehead, I love the nickname, by the way. He asked the question, or she.
Okay, let me go up and see.
About the if we are using the hypervision.
Okay, let me read it out for you. Will they be using hypervision in their headset, since they are investors excited about the wide FOV?
Yeah, so that's a great question, knucklehead. I mean, we are not going to use the hypervision optics because we have developed our optics way before we invested in the hypervision. Obviously, we knew the guys before, but our current optics is developed together with VR engineers. As I said, it's a dual aspheric lens setup per eye, and it's great. It's great. The only drawback, it's not small. It's kind of big. But that's the only downside. The rest is just all upsides. It's great field of view, great sweet spot, and clarity and everything. And hypervision optics is amazing. So our next generations of Somnium headsets will have hypervision optics, and they have amazing optics. If you've seen the videos, if not, just put hypervision optics VR FOV into YouTube, and you'll find some videos of YouTubers trying it out. I was blown away when I tried it out. Honestly, it's this one of the thinnest. It's this thinnest pancake type lens with the widest FOV and sweet spot I've ever seen. So yeah, it will allow to do some magical things for our next headset and also for VR engineers and for links. So there's many good things coming from this investment and partnerships. That's for sure.
DBVR still using Fresnel lenses in their E4, but I have to say that compared to the G2, they've done a really good job in terms of sweet spot, because when you're moving your eyeball, I mean, I personally don't move my eyeballs in VR. I usually move my head, which is why a lot of people complain with the G2, saying that, you know, the sweet spot was very small. But I have to admit that when I was playing with the E4 and I was just moving my eyeball left and right, the clarity was really there. So I was pretty impressed, considering they're still using previous technology for the lenses in that respect. Michael, I wanted to ask you about the Vision Pro's strategy in using a separate battery, an external battery. What you thought of that?
I was so relieved when I was watching the video that it's not tethered to the iMac. I saw the cable and I thought, oh my God, what's going this to be? At least the battery pack and not the connection with the Mac. But yeah, it's of course a bad design choice, but I think it's just a compromise because they've put, I guess, so power hungry hardware in it that it's simply not working otherwise. I also heard that the headset is quite heavy already.
And, it looks like it's at least 500 grams, right? I mean, I don't know the exact specs, but it has to be at least 500 grams.
And now
probably.
And now I think they say it has like 2 hours battery life when you watch the videos.
I mean, you have the external, but you can plug it into the mains, I think. So then it can last.
So,
more
but
than 2 hours
watching video doesn't take any complicated process.
If you watch Avatar, it's longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, even that. I easily imagine that when you're using like 3D power of this, that the battery drains way faster. But I think it's also kind of a development headset, and for that it doesn't matter so much. I mean, in 3 years, the power problem will be solved, and of course some people will wear the battery pack in the back of the head. So I'm sure there will be head straps that have the battery pack in the back.
And so, I think you're right. You know, sorry, go ahead. No, I said you're right. I think it's a developer headset which they're not afraid to show to consumers. Like it's not a consumer headset, which also, by the way, it's for developers. It's a developer headset, but they're not shy to actually sell it to some consumers because it's a good device. You know what I mean? So I think that's the whole point. And yes, there's a battery. Yeah, it's very heavy if it will be with a battery inside. So I was a bit surprised that I thought they will put some computing power into this outside unit so that you would be able to update the outside unit without updating the headset. Because honestly, the set of sensors they have inside and the screens they have inside will be, you don't need, for next 5 years, you won't need high resolution screens, and probably 12 cameras will be more than enough for the next 5 years. So you would, potentially you would have been just exchanging those computing units outside like Magic Leap does, and then you would be fine. But it wouldn't be Apple if they wouldn't want to sell you the new headset every year or two. So look, I think it's a design compromise, and totally understandable. But it's a first generation product, which already looks amazing. So we'll see what happens.
Arthur, when you see something like that's designed this way and it looks pretty much like the virtual reality, the movie
Ready Player
One. You know, it is really getting closer to that kind of style. I mean, does it make you, because a lot of the headsets are going this direction now, right? I mean, the Pico 4, I would say, to me, is really the first headset that looks the most sleeker after the DPVR P1 Pro 4K, which won an award for best design in I can't remember which country. You know, people are trying to focus more on making it like a luxury accessory or some kind of accessory of some kind. You know, does it make you think, oh no, we have to redesign, we have to rethink about the design of our headset for the future? I mean, how does it change your process thinking?
Not really. We made the headset like from enthusiast to enthusiast. Like we know our target audience, and I myself is a target audience for for my own headset. Like that, that's the whole point. And our design language is kind of like really practical and really kind of we tell you, by looking at the headset, exactly what's happening right there. We're not trying to hide anything. It's a very open design to tell you, look, yes, there's cameras. Yes, there is lighthouse tracking. Yes, this is the hand tracking part. This is the camera here. This is the anchor point there. This is the joint here. You can unscrew this. You can screw that. So it's a very open-minded design. And we said we always value practicality over the sleekness. And that's how we went with the design. We just wanted to make it really practical, well built, practical, and so it can withstand years and years and years. I mean, think about it. Valve Index is 4 years old, and it's still one of the best PCVR headsets on the market. I mean, what? It's true, because they designed it well and they made it well. So that's what we're trying to do. We try to design the headset which will be with you for the next 4 years, and you will be satisfied with the headset. And yes, there will be sleeker headsets here and there, and you will be probably buying them as well. But this one, you will be coming back to it if you need to do like heavy duty PCVR stuff. You'll be very satisfied with. So that's what we are going for. So we're not afraid about design. I mean, I love the design of Apple headset. I love the design of Pico 4. Great designs. But I just think that it doesn't influence us much.
Michael, when you watch sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say something to the headset because it's really a formfulness function, and congratulations on how you placed the cameras with the huge eyes, which looks really, really convincing, right in front of the eyes, which is.
People tell we look like Wall-E. I said, yeah. I mean, I love Wall-E. Who doesn't like Wall-E? Come on, it's a great Wall-E design. But
I also like.
Can you show it again? Can you show it again, Arthur? I just made you larger on the screen. Can you show it again? I just made you larger on the screen.
Oh, I can show, because this is the older design, right? But it's kind of similar to what we have now, with some changes.
Yeah, it's pretty well built.
It's first of all, we're producing it in Europe, so it's a European Union made headset in Czech Republic.
Okay.
I'm personally going to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, we're trying to reinvent a little bit of the process of the production, and I also we'll prove that you can produce a mass production consumer product in Europe. I mean, we know it already. We can. It's just while we'll be maybe few dollars more expensive and stuff, but it's well worth it, because I'm like just 1.5 hours from the factory. I can go there personally. Right. If there's any problem, I will go there personally. And I told it in the video, and I really mean it. Like, I will probably. Yeah, I mean, I will probably set up and build few of the headsets for the consumers myself. Like, I will do it. First of all, it's fun, but second of all, I want to understand every point of process there, and I want to try it out myself. Because if we want to improve it later, we will we'll have to understand what are we improving and how we are going to improve it. So. It's a choice. It's a choice we made, and we'll go with it, and we're pretty happy about that. So yeah.
I wonder where the Vision Pro will be made, if it'll be in China or India, because now they're moving their guys to India. So that's going to
probably
be quite,
China. I would say
probably
China.
Michael, what did you think of the Vision Pro's spiel? The whole trying to sell, spatial computing to the masses, even though it felt a little bit like watching previous Meta 2020 or 2019 conference?
So I think, lifestyle and productivity. I think architects will like the headset. I think a lot of companies that at the moment don't want to buy a Facebook Meta headset will get this because it just looks really cool. It's designed very good, and also Apple is known for treating privacy okay. And for many companies, of course, this is an issue. As for architects, I mean, I'm an architect myself, and we've started actually the Cybershoes because we wanted to make it possible to walk through buildings using your feet and making building projects like perceivable already when they are planned. And so I'm wondering what Apple was thinking when they really did not care about like artificial movement at all. So that's something that is totally omitted. You can't, and I think Apple won't introduce it because they are afraid of motion sickness. They just don't want that people have some artificial movement. So all will be like room scale. Maybe they allow teleportation, but even teleportation can make people feel sick. And how will this work when you're showing an architecture project? It's just not possible. So I think especially like real estate, it's a big market. I mean, just imagine how many real estate offices would like to have an Apple Vision Pro because it looks cool and you can see the building in a huge space and awesome resolution. So I guess we will have a big shot there, like providing the Cybershoes to architects, because it's really easy to integrate. As I said, it's just a gamepad, and you can already walk.
I mean, I predict that. I mean, you're supposed to be using hand gestures, to do movement. They're partnering with Rec Room, as we know, so that you have to move in Rec Room somehow. So unless they're going to come out with accessories, the controllers as an accessory, which would make, I mean, to me it makes sense to do that since it's their business model. But perhaps they're just not going to do controllers. I don't know. So far they haven't announced anything about that. So I guess let's just say there's no controllers. Then you're just going to
be better.
pinching, or you're going to do that, or you're going to do this or something, and or this or something, right?
This would be funny, yeah. I think in terms of the motion sickness, I want to add one thing. Let's not forget that Apple headset is mainly pass-through AR headset. And because we already know that the pass-through is so good, and the scale and everything they've done is like very close to real life, that's where you don't have motion sickness, because when something is like real life, your movement is kind of the same what your brain expects to be, and the surrounding is and stuff. But obviously, it's correct what Michael says. Like when you are in a VR mode, and that's why they didn't advertise VR so much. But when you're in VR, you need to move somewhere because the scale becomes much bigger. And I would say selling controllers would make sense, because for some use cases, you just, controllers are great. Or maybe, just maybe, some other third-party controllers, like, officially approved resellers or whatever, will provide some controllers. We already know that the gamepad will work, right? So that could be a hint where this could go, because one thing is having a gamepad, but honestly, Michael, it's just input, so you can... form factor of the gamepad could be different, right? And then suddenly you have a controller, but a bit different than normal controllers would you have in VR. So other producers could come up with some crazy things there. So yeah, it definitely opens up for you some opportunities there, and that's great to see.
I rather hope that they don't come up with controllers, because when you have controllers, then you don't know, should I use the controller or not? Should I pick it up or not? Because some apps will need the controller, the other ones
they'll tell you. Apple will inform you. Like they will be good. Like, no,
yes,
please use your controllers. They're right there around the corner. Because you know what's good about Apple devices? They all have this spatial chip. Every Apple device in your home, they know where the other device is in the proximity. So with Apple headset, it would be even more enhanced. And that's like, that's even better. So now suddenly they will know your controllers are in that room, or you left them here, and it's just, I think it will be a very good experience overall. Like, Apple is Apple. You might hate it or you might like it, but they do some things really well. They do some things honestly badly as well, but the key parts I think they kind of make well. So yeah, we'll see. But hand tracking is, for what they are advertising, is great.
Michael, how does a VR headset change the experience of using Cybershoes?
Well, I don't get the question, because you can Cybershoes only make sense using a VR headset.
But if you compare the Quest 1, for example, which is now a very old headset, to the latest headsets that are available today, and how clear things are, how does it improve the experience for people with Cybershoes?
I think the biggest part is always the friction. How many things do I have to get in line before I start? And with PCVR, my experience is that when a user says, "Oh, The Walking Dead is not working," then I have to find the right computer. I have to find the right headset and connect the cables and import it, update all the drivers for it, and connect it, and then I have to find the right controller, and it's so many things, and then of course the cables,
and charge it,
and charge it. Yeah. That's
very important
issue with the wireless headsets.
No sleep for these guys.
It always puts you back another hour when you have to charge the headset. Yeah, so. Friction, and that's why I would prefer not having controllers, because it's one thing less you have to take care about. Where are my controllers? Are the controllers charged? And when I take them, do I pick them up in the right way? Is it the right one or the left one? And when I want to type something, then where do I place it? Because I'm standing and they drop down on the floor, and then I have to. It's just so many things I don't like so much, the hand controllers, to be honest. So and what I think is what they're doing good is with the gaze is that you don't have to use your hand so much, like doing this and this and this and that, because you're looking at this thing and then you're using the hand to click or the gaze to click. I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah. As far as clarity is concerned, I think it doesn't make a difference with Cybershoes. I think the most important thing is the frame rate. The bigger the frame rate, the lower the motion sickness. And yeah, Cybershoes is especially very good for motion sickness, because when you're walking, your head is like swinging. As like in real life, and that's how the Cybershoes work in reducing motion sickness, because if you have artificial movement just with the stick, there is no real world thing happening. It's just in the eyes, and even especially if frame rate is low, then you are motion sick just like that. So yeah, that's one of the biggest upsides, besides of like being physically active and more immersed. It's like that Cybershoes are reducing motion sickness.
That's pretty cool. Guys, I just put in the chat the link to go to continue the talk, because Google is going to close us down.
Okay.
Hope that's all right with you. If you guys still have 15-20 minutes, then we can just go to that link. You guys get it?
In the chat. Which chat?
Oh, I can put
I'll jump into the new one already.
Okay.
Yeah, this chat. You got it?
See you there in a bit.
Okay. Michael, you got it? Okay, cool. You got it. All right, we are back. So let me just read some of the comments, guys. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the chat below. Let me just read some comments. Artful says, Apple having chipset, headset, and software they have or can lock down the system. And this in turn means they can whatever they want, do whatever they want, and not be restricted by someone like Qualcomm. Yes, so Artful's basically saying that, they're playing a very smart game here, obviously.
100%.
They'll have completely 100%, yeah.
And rightfully so. Honestly, I didn't expect from Apple to be open. So, if you close, let me rephrase. If you closed your system, do it please right and respect your users. And I think in terms of privacy, as far as we have the history till today, Apple has never been involved in a huge privacy scandals by selling data to someone else and blah, blah, blah. So I think if you restrict access to your platform and make it closed ecosystem, please do it right. But don't do it like we know other company did, where nobody trusts the company. And then not only it's done right, but it's also closed. And you're like, what's the upside for me as a user? Why would I ever, why would I do it? Give me some upside. Apple gives you an upside because it's so well built and it's such a great system. Okay, that's an upside. You get something in return. But when it's like half baked and nothing like works, and then it's like privacy problems here, and then you have to log in there and like it's not working, there's a lot of downsides. So yeah, I mean, great for the competition on the market, because the Meta part of the spectrum will have to really put their stuff together and kind of try to compete. And others, I honestly don't even think, like, maybe Pico has a chance if they really put a lot of efforts and resources from ByteDance, from TikTok to do it. And they are on the right track. They do a lot of good things, and I like Pico, but they need to kind of continue doing that. I hope they have enough willpower to actually do that on a management level. And if they do, they will be the third one, the big one, who will be competing on the market with Apple. If not, then it will be just Apple and maybe Meta. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, precisely. I think the only time they had an issue was when the FBI said, give us access, because they were trying to get hold of some information.
Yeah, but at least they were kind of open about it a little bit, and they brought attention to it. They gave the access, but they brought attention to it. Yeah. Or I think in some case they did access, and then in some case they didn't. Yeah, exactly. So look, I mean, still better than selling your data to third-party companies which are using you against you, or like to. I mean, this is just horrible stuff.
Exactly.
So.
We know that Meta will find $1.3 billion or euros or something recently, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there must have been some hard issues. So actually, that they have been convicted to that big of a fine. I mean, that doesn't come. Think
about it. Think about it, guys. Nor Apple, not even Pico, who is in the same business as Facebook, have been convicted of any wrongdoings as Facebook was. I'm sorry, it's the fact. Pico is a Chinese company. Yeah, Pico is Chinese company, which everybody's, oh my God, Chinese. But honestly, if I would be a Western European user, and I was saying it all very loudly before, if I'm a Western European user, okay, I live in Europe, or let's say I live in US. Mm-hmm. If I'm concerned about my privacy, who would I trust more? The US company, which has a really bad track record, or the Chinese company, which has nothing to do with the US company? If my data should be leaked, I rather leak it to Chinese, because Chinese have no leverage above me. I don't live in China. I'm not. They can do nothing to me. But if this leaks in Europe, if the data from Facebook leak in Europe or US, then you're doomed as a person. You know what I mean? Right. So it's better go to China, and they can do whatever they want with it. I'm abstracting, obviously, and I'm making it. But honestly, if it comes to this basic logic, it is like this. Like it's the data go to China, and let's forget about that. But the data stay here in Western Europe from Facebook, and then they get leaked and sold and all this stuff on all over the place. Who knows what they do with it? and that becomes a bigger problem for you as an individual. So for sure, like I think
it's an interesting point of thinking, but I wouldn't guarantee that data that's leaked to China is not sold. I mean, I think
again,
that
was a joke, but in general,
I would trust Apple, most of these companies,
of course.
And of course, you have to be like a bit aware what you want to share and.
I think what's interesting is, Arthur, you're developing Somnium Space, of course, which is also a social metaverse platform, and you know AI is very much been in the hype phase for some time now, and you know we don't look at it like this for the moment because, for example, Apple doesn't seem to be interested, as far as we know for now, to develop a metaverse platform of their own. However, they are very interested in developing tools where people can call each other and have holographic presence and all this, but it doesn't seem like, for example, what scares me a lot is going into Horizon, which I haven't done yet once, or even VR chat or whatever.
Because maybe you can't. I mean,
no, but wait. What I'm trying to say is, when I was in Alt Space, there was a couple of times when I was talking to people, and honestly speaking, I thought I was talking to an AI. Like I didn't feel I was talking to a real person. I felt like I was talking to some kind of experimental bot that could basically interact with me at a very basic level. And when you see ChatGPT videos of two ChatGPTs talking to each other in a NVIDIA, made AI model, and you go, wow, this is like two people having a conversation almost. So,
I have a lot to say about this. Yeah.
What is Somnium Space going to introduce? Because you guys are developing, afterlife stuff, which is I've seen some shows on what was that very famous show that came out 2 years ago where people upload their consciousness.
Upload. I think
upload,
it's
upload. That's right. And which kind of reminded me of what you were doing.
For the record, Live Forever mode we introduced was way before Upload has come up to the market. And by the time Upload has come up with their idea, obviously, of the show,
Upload is
we already
show,
had
guys.
like paying customers who are ready to pay for this. But so there are two things to your question. One thing is when you say you're concerned about privacy and stuff, you have to always remember if the product you're using is for free, you are the product. You become a product because somehow the company needs to make money. Unless they're fully VC backed, but then you have to ask yourself how long investors can hold all up and try to fund the company, because at some point money will run out. So that's one thing. So if you are using the product which is totally free, if it's a social VR platform and you don't directly understand how the platform is making money, which in most cases you don't understand because there's no business model, then you are a product. And number two, regarding AI, I've been on several interviews regarding the Live Forever mode. We do work on that already, and with the big update of Somnium 3.0, actually next week, so on I think somewhere closer to the end of the next week, we'll be releasing a big blog post about Somnium 3.0, and this is our code name for a next big Somnium update of a platform, of a software platform. And part of that would be the Live Forever mode.
That's
and
crazy.
we will release a video of our AI researcher talking to himself in Somnium, and it's pretty insane. I have to say,
this is insane stuff. Everybody,
so
this is really insane.
But you'll be by the end of this year, you'll be able to do the following. You'll be able to do several things, but one of the things you'll be able to do is you'll be able to, first of all, record your data. Everything is transparent and you own the data. We never touch your data unless you want us to touch the data, and the data is on your computer. We don't even save it on our service. It's on your computer.
Right.
But then you record the data, and then we apply AI on this data, and then you can just replace you and just you're going offline, but your AI, alter ego will be walking in Somnium and having conversations with people if you wish so, or you could stay in your parcel on your world. But if you can just unleash it and walk around, it will do that.
It's crazy.
So by the end of the year, you'll have this reality happening in Somnium all over the place. So get ready.
I think this is a good move.
Go ahead,
because I think it's a good move because when you have like metaverse spaces, it's important to have someone be there greet the guests, and this can be really a robot to explain you what's going on in this space.
Oh, well, it will tell you all kind of things. It will be like really like a human telling to you something, and you will never know what it will tell you. And the funny part is, like, to me, this is actually more about the ability to, because, we already have like a voice synthesizer, which actually synthesizes, I would probably say 90% of your voice is there. So from the first side. So our goal, and I think that will be the reality, our goal is by the end of this year, you will be able to meet someone in Somnium, and for the first minute or two, you will not even realize that that's AI.
Right.
Of course, we'll put there's name shields, and we'll put this notification that's an AI. But if you'd have them turned off, and you will just meet someone and speak to them, you would probably not realize. The only thing which could give it away a little bit, and we're working on it already, is the latency. But we're minimizing the answer latency to a minimum right now, so that even that would probably be not a factor for you. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be quite insane, and I cannot wait. I can't wait to deploy my second me, walking around the Somnium and just talking to people. But because imagine something happens to me, and then like there's nothing left out of me. But with in VR, you can have movements. You can have with Tesla suits, you can have full biometric, the stress levels, the heart, heartbeat. You can have the voice. You can have the gestures. You can have full body tracking. All of those data, we have developed the standard of how you save those data, and it's an open standard so that everyone will be able to use that and utilize it. Again, we are about decentralization. We don't want to keep everything to ourselves. We want you to use that to your own good. But yeah, if something happens to you, then your kids and kids of your kids will be able to visit you in VR and talk to you and get a better understanding who you were, what your personality was, rather than just looking at pictures or some videos on the phone, which is obviously.
We were talking about privacy just now, and I think that's amazing and that's awesome what you're doing. But referring back to, for example, Pico, Pico don't have it yet with the Pico Worlds, but Horizon, which is already out. When you look at, for example, Facebook, who apparently, allegedly, although it's been apparently proven, that they will send you subliminal messages in your feed so that you purchase certain things over time on thoughts that you didn't even think of, right? So the thing is the next step, when you go into Horizon, you talk to these bots, are they going to introduce conversations to you, to make you think, oh, I need that, or in a very subliminal way that you don't even realize. I mean, is that where VR is going for these kind of guys?
You don't need to be conspiracy theorists to realize that that's actually where it's going,
right.
In platforms like this. So yeah, I mean, when we preach decentralization and when we preach open approach, when we say we don't track people in VR, when we say we don't collect your data, I don't want to collect people's data because that's such a huge burden on on ourselves. We just open ourselves to such a huge amount of problems. We want you to own your data, and then if we need them and if you want us to use them to provide you service, then you will give it to us, but only for this limited use. So yeah, I mean, that's the way how to go, and I don't understand how anyone could think that full centralized platforms is the future of the metaverse or whatever. Cannot be. It just cannot be, because the moment you become too big, you'll be failing. We've seen this this examples in the past. The company becomes too big, and there will be one part or another part which will fail, and we don't want that to happen.
Michael, what did you think of, coming back to the Apple headset, what did you think of the Apple Watch looking knob that goes from VR to mixed reality, and also trying to focus more on spatial mixed reality rather than virtual reality? Do you think that was quite innovative? Or
use this knob? Maybe yes, can give you an additional control. In general, I don't use any of the buttons that are attached to the headset because, normally everything can be done from within the headset. And I don't know also where these are placed, like the volume button. I would have to search for it. Maybe the crown is more tangible. but again, I don't see that being used too much.
Do you think they're going to use
I think it's an elegant way.
Sorry, go on.
I think it's an elegant way for them to kind of introduce a little bit of friction to go from AR to VR, because they want you to be in AR. And this, like, first of all, I think it's great because it's like this seamless stuff. You probably looks great, especially if the AR is very lifelike. To kind of blend into that environment seamlessly would probably look great. But also, it's an additional elegant friction to kind of keep you more in AR than in VR, in my opinion. So it's just not one click inside and you are in VR. It's more about this transition. Maybe it has to do something with motion sickness. It has to do something with people getting used to be in VR more, because you can go up and down and things like that. So yeah, it's an elegant way. It's Apple, right? So it's another of those things where it definitely makes sense. It definitely brings some use case, but it also brings a little bit of friction, but in a very, very nice way, Apple way. So everybody will love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I think what's more important is that when somebody is approaching you, then you will see the person. And in the other way, if I am in VR and I'm looking for my phone, then I would rather expect like the neural intelligence to understand that I'm looking for my phone to search something. And I would hope that it gets like transparent, instead of having to dial first and then look and dial back.
I think that's Apple.
I would love to have it.
I think the phone will just appear in the headset.
I think the integration between the product will be amazing. Like the moment you pick up the phone, it will immediately know. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this will be the case. I cannot imagine.
Maybe? I mean, their idea is that they want to get rid of the iPhone, right? I mean, that's what they said. They said that by 2020, 35
not now.
Or something.
No.
I don't think so.
No. This is their cash cow. They will get rid of iPhone the moment they will be selling more of those headsets.
Right.
Like, this is what makes them money. Yeah. So they rather make it work great with the VR headset or AR headset they produce, because otherwise it will be. So what I'm saying is, like, when you take AirPods Pro, and you transition from MacBook to iPhone, it's very seamless. Most of the time it works well. So I think the same way you will be just taking off the phone, and it will not immediately pass through, but maybe something in the headset will say, do you want to look on the phone? Or maybe you'll just, like, if you take the phone, because they have eye tracking, right? Imagine the situation. You take the phone and you are not looking at the phone. The headset knows where the phone is, and the headset knows that you're not looking at it. Maybe it won't be transparent. But the moment you take the phone and you try to look at the direction of the phone, it will probably make it transparent to see the phone and what's written there. Makes sense.
I think what will change in the next 5 years is, nowadays, when you're commuting, like in Japan, for example, and I'm sure in Singapore it's the same, not so much in Europe, but there in the subway, everybody is really anchored to their mobile phones. And when you're like for half an hour, 1 hour staring into the mobile phone, it's not so good for your eyes, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% sure that in 5 years, everybody will be wearing such a device.
Oh no!
Because it's so much better.
Many muggins are going to happen.
No, I mean, it's so much better to watch the videos, to read your emails when you're really immersed. And
I agree.
That's the logical step. I mean, this small display, it's really too small.
No, that's an all tech.
I mean, do you think this is really something healthy for society, or? Well, I mean, what do you think this means for society itself in terms of, getting there to that point where everyone will just be like immersed in a bubble of their own?
I think people more will look up instead of down, because at the moment
Correct.
people are looking like this, and they don't give a shit what's going on.
People will be more social. 100% will be more social. Yes. And
so
by the way,
open to more
honestly, nothing will happen. Like, it's not the end of society. We'll just continue as we are. We'll become more productive. We'll become more social, in my opinion, rather than less social. Because right now we're like, honestly, I have to 2-minute rant. Okay, I have 2 kids, and our school, thank God, they don't allow mobile phones in the classroom and in the school while they're in the school.
In the class.
But when I do, like, if when I go to the other school and I bring my kids to some, I don't know, sport training and stuff, and I go through the school, the only thing I see kids like in the school or in McDonald's or whatever, two kids sit next to each other and they don't speak to each other. They just look at the phone and they're just scrolling on the phone. This is the worst possible thing you can, like, this is horrible. And
it can't get worse, right?
VR headset, because whenever I put VR headset on my kids, I don't do it too often, but I do it sometimes. Whenever I put VR headset on my kids, I can see that their attention is laser focused to what they're doing at that moment. Laser focused. They immediately click and they immediately look what they're, because it's them against the headset and they're kind of looking at the content and they're not disturbed by anything else. So yeah, what happens to the kids today is the worst possible nightmare we can have. So don't tell me that headsets could be worse. No, not really. Headsets will actually improve it in the future and make them more social and more, as you said, Michael, look around the world, because the world will be enhanced with all this great stuff. So yeah, I really can't wait, because right now we are living through really bad doom times of kids and social skills of kids.
And that's also the reason why I think the outside-facing display is a good move. I think it's a really good move.
I wanted to ask you guys about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Michael, give me your thoughts about the outside display that has been introduced by Apple. Even though I do know that Meta are working on their own version too, but they beat them to the punch, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, I was wishing like that feature all the time when we're doing a trade show and having people in VR, and you don't know like what they're looking at. You can tell from their reaction, of course, from the face. Yeah, you can kind of, but you miss the eyes. And of course, I would like to see what they are seeing. I know that Apple doesn't want to reveal that, and I probably won't give the developers the freedom to display what they want, because that's Apple-like. But I would wish to be able to have a mode where you could actually really display what the user sees. For example, like going back to architecture presentations, that would be so important to be like the supervisor, the mentor who guides the other person into the space actually knows what the people in the space or in XR is now experiencing, to be able to guide better. So yeah, I think it's a good move.
How complicated would it be just to put a very thin layer of LCD panel hooked up to an HDMI in the headset, so that people could actually see what the person's seeing inside without having to, let's just say they don't have a laptop with them or they don't have a projector with them or something, but they have this little thing you just click on and then boom, you can, I mean, until, every headset has something as nice as, as what Apple did, of course.
It's not a question of it's not a question of putting the hardware, because, you can find it pretty cheap LCD screens and put it in. It's a question of how well the software will blend with the hardware, because putting just screen is not enough. That screen needs to do smart things in a smart way. So what Apple did is amazing, because they have this technology of scanning you as an avatar, and they can put your eyes, which will look almost exactly as it's the real eyes. And that's the magic. Yeah. Without that, just showing outside world what you can do. Honestly, with our anchor points on the headset here, you can 3D print a holder for the, if you will not use pass-through, you can 3D print a holder and put a screen which will be facing outwards and connect through a 10 gigabit USB-C on top or on the bottom and use it. But honestly, unless you have this killer combination of software and hardware, I would not even go to that direction.
Right.
Maybe our users will, who knows? But yeah, you just need to have this seamless integration of both, and you need to have this seamless OS and smart system and everything else and sensors to actually have the right feature.
Because when you see kids playing Population 1 or Contractors or Counter-Strike or something, I mean, and they're really young, they're like 10, and there's no policing and there's nothing to stop them in there. Is it really healthy to have them in those kind of games? What are your thoughts
No,
about?
it's not healthy. 100%, we know it. It's not. I love VR with all my heart, but it's not healthy for a 10-year-old kid. I have a son who is 10 years old. I would never let him play any of that, unintended or alone or whatever, for longer than 10 minutes. No, of course not. It's too much. Maybe when they're 15, maybe then 14, you could start doing those things, but not at the age of 10. Just because it's too early for this kind of tech. Yeah, I don't think that's the right move to let kids play. And I see a lot of those kids in those games, and that terrifies me, to be honest.
So Meta have been the guys who have really been, spear rolling the industry for quite a while, but now that Apple's in and they have so much money, how do you see them influencing the space versus Meta?
It's amazing to have competition. It's amazing to have a competition. They will be pushed so hard, even though, Mark says, look, we're not competing because we're $500 and Apple is $3,500. People will look at Apple and will say, hey, Meta, we want this. Give us this. Can you give us this? Can you give us that great eye tracking? Can you give me that privacy level? Can you give me this amazing screen outward, looking outwards? And it won't be enough to say, yeah, but we're just $500. You cannot expect. No. They will not listen. They will want the best of the best of the best for the lowest possible price. And the only winner is consumer. Like 100%, the only winner of all of this is a consumer. I'm very excited about that. It's great.
And we know. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree.
And we also know that Facebook, when they were Facebook before they were Meta, failed when they released their mobile phone. They didn't even make it in tons of countries because it just wasn't selling at all. I think they sold in some parts of America to begin with, and then they just canned the project. So, I'm a believer, honestly. I have predicted, and I'm willing to put money on this. And to a certain degree, I do want to see them prosper because they do have a lot of money. They have been doing a lot of good for the space in general. They've been getting people excited. I think it's unfortunate that the press have really been dampening Meta, and it's overshadowed or casted a shadow on the industry in general, to be honest with you. But I do foresee because I believe Apple is now going to get Samsung on board, Oppo's already on board, Lenovo's already on board. So a ton of other people are going to come on board, right? Facing the consumers at a much lower price grade than Apple's thing, or maybe they'll price it the same. Who knows? And I think Meta are going to slowly but surely just be at the low, even have to vacate VR 10, 15 years. What do you guys feel about that? Considering Apple's presence now.
The first, and I have to run in 5 minutes, but I think the first, the first thing which will happen is the prices of the headset will go rather up than down. So that will be the first effect of Apple headsets, because again, as I just said, in my opinion, people will demand more polished features, and Meta will not be able to compete and subsidize so much because they'll have to up the hardware game quite a bit. They'll have to take all those things in the lab they were working on for the last 5-7 years and bring them into the headsets, and this will cost money. And they'll have to put the price of the headset up, and their excuse will be, "Look, you wanted better features, we'll bring you better features." So this is the first thing which will happen, in my opinion. And second, I don't think Meta will go away. I wouldn't wish them to go away. I want the market to be competing. I just want them to become better company in general, like ethos and stuff.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think we all do.
I think like Samsung, I think they're like 1 year behind Apple. Like, I don't think they can release anything until maybe March or February next year, even to show something. Because like, I know how long does it take to make the headset, right?
Right.
Meta has a position because they already invested all those billions and all those years in that. So that's a great starting point for them right now. But Samsung was not a big VR player. They had something with the Gear VR, and but that was a long time ago. They ditched it and they didn't return to that. Mm-hmm. So they would have to start from scratch for many, many, many things, and they don't have the silicon to run it properly on. And they don't, there's a lot of things they have to really, really rethink. Mm-hmm. So I think Google, Samsung, and others will have to play a catch-up game, and it will probably take them 1.5 years to actually get to a point where they can show something and try to maybe announce some sale price and whatever. But yeah, Apple, even though everybody anticipated that Apple will come with this product, Apple caught everyone off guard, pretty much pens down, except of Meta maybe, and that's it, in my opinion. Because the product is that good and that different from anything else.
It does look very good. And the only ones that I believe could catch up faster than anyone else are iQIYI in China, because they already have, I mean, I haven't tried their headset, but they've been in the space for a while. And Lenovo, although the headset doesn't look great, but at least they have something. They've been out for a while. And DBVR, of course, who've been out for a while. Just before you go, just want to read one question to you by Knucklehead again. He's just asking, does Somnium plan for an inside-out tracking add-on module? He wants to be able to use his headset away from home.
So first of all, away from home, this is the tethered PCVR headset. So you probably need a PCVR.
He probably means like on a laptop. Inside out.
Yeah. So what he means is that you don't need base stations.
Yes,
that
that's
you could use it somewhere where there's no base station. So are those two cameras capable of some sort of tracking? Because we've seen inside out tracking with two cameras in the past. Yes. Will we ship it with the headset right away? No. Will our community be able to build something like that because we'll release the access to the sensors and stuff? Probably yes, and we hope they will. But will it ever be competing with anything like Lighthouse and stuff? No. So this is kind of like the puzzle of answers I can give you right now towards that. But in general, cameras are very good. Like I think in terms of resolution and specs, this is in the consumer market. These are the highest resolution cameras after Apple on the market. Like we've look at the size of the modules. They're huge. They're really good. The point is, of course, software is what makes the magic, and that's what we hope our community will also step up and help with that.
Okay, Michael, do you have any final words in regards to Apple or anything that you want to say before we end the stream?
Yeah, so I think the big breakthrough is here in regard of making a device that is usable for working, but it's definitely not for gaming. And in that sense, Meta won't have a competition for another couple of years from Apple, because Meta is, and Steam and Meta, those are the Sony, yeah, but not Apple. In gaming, they are not yet a competition. And in that regard, the headsets that Meta is making, they are okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you have a PC, then I'm sure that Ather's headset will be also a good deal. So, yeah. As for usability, I strongly believe the lower the friction, the better. And that's what we are following with Cybershoes 2.0, as reducing the friction, making it easier to get the shoes on, making everything easier and more convincingly easy to use.
I just want to say it will be very easy for all the Apple guys who have an app already inside of the iPhone to be able to convert their games relatively fast, unless they do a custom job into a VR experience. So that could actually create a huge app store pretty fast, and also saturation in the world of gaming, and a whole multitude of choices and price points are going to fall, I would imagine. If there are so many games in the ecosystem.
Apple has 33 million developers on board. 33 million people.
It's crazy.
I mean, there is so many talent, so much, and we know that generally, like, level of detail and quality of iOS apps is slightly higher than Android. Even though like Android has caught up quite a bit lately, but still there is some difference. And I'm pretty sure while Meta is more gaming, the developers of for iOS will kind of come up with some ingenious ideas. So there will be different types of games, which we will not have on Meta, but there will be like different, like table games, tabletop games, and social games, and AR games, and like I'm pretty sure there will be some mind-blowing stuff which we will start seeing, and also games for outside, because people will wear this headset outside. I will wear this headset outside, no question about it.
Yeah.
So I think there will be some amazing use cases where people will look at it and say, "Oh my God, how did nobody came up with this before?"
Yeah.
And that will be kind of a magic moment of the future, let's say.
Michael, you're going to be so busy. You're going to be very busy talking to all these developers. Like, it's going to be crazy for you.
It's gonna be insane.
But
in a good way. In a good way.
15 people now to deal with all these developers. You're gonna have like a call center.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you very much for spending some time today. It's been amazing to learn about the industry and get your thoughts about the Vision Pro, and also about what you guys are doing as well. And hopefully we can do this again in the future. I'd love to talk to you more about Somnium Space as well, and metaverse, land buying, and all that kind of stuff as well in the future. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was very
all right, guys.
interesting.
Well, I'll say goodbye to you guys, and then I'll say goodbye to
bye from Vienna.
People. Bye from Singapore.
Bye from Prague. See you guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, Michael.
Bye-bye.
All right, so guys, there you have it. Please smash the likes, by the way, to thank Michael and Arthur for coming to the channel today, because it's really amazing to be able to do this. And also, if you want me to do more of these, please smash the likes as well to let me know, to give me the feedback that you want me to do more AMAs with some of the industry professionals. I am talking to various different developers, so hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks, as it does take time to get people to agree, to come on board and do all that. But I'd love to talk to Between Realities and also with the guys behind Citadel, because their new game just came out, and I didn't know the Skiva was actually one of the guys who, anyway. Yeah, so some developers also talking to Pimax, of course, because they're here in Singapore, so we'll be talking to them in the future as well. So plenty of content coming, and of course, do go to this, go here, guys. So if you go back to the VR Essentials YouTube channel, go to the channel and then go to community. Please go and vote, guys. Let me know which game you want me to stream with the DPVR E4 on June 17, which will be next weekend. Whether you want me to stream Assetto Corsa, Automobilista 2, Dirt Rally 2.0, or After the Fall VR, or other games you may suggest as well. As every week, I'll be doing different streams with various different VR headsets, guys. Please head out to the community tab and vote after this live stream, or now if you can, whenever you can. That would be really, really awesome. So let me just read out some comments from you guys to see whether there's anything I can answer. Art4 was saying the extra IR emitters facing the eye helps with tracking. Yes, Michael has identified that the Apple Vision Pro AVP can identify iris size. Yeah, which is pretty amazing. Are you guys excited about the Vision Pro, by the way? Is it something that you feel should be in a future Quest headset, for example? Do you also want, the pass-through eyes to be able to be seen outside on all headsets? I personally imagine there's going to be a lot of copiers, Meta being one of them, as they copy a lot of their, competitors on Facebook, Instagram, and all of these various different things. So I imagine a lot of the VR headsets in the future may have some of the technical aspects that Apple are developing. Van Gogh Hoff, thank you very much for coming to the stream, by the way. Sorry for not saying hello to you before. He says more social, who they want to be social with online. Anyone local or without an HMD will be regarded as weird. Weird or to walk around. Okay, so you think things are going to get to such a point where basically if you don't have an HMD on your face, people will be segregated, kind of thing. That'll be very interesting. He also says, also you will need a robot to give you piggyback around town so you don't get run over by a silent car or bump into non-HMDs while you're playing COD in VR. Yes, no, I completely agree with you. Some Knucklehead says, great discussion, thanks. You're very welcome, Knucklehead, and thank you very much also for joining the live stream. It certainly was, and good to hear the thoughts, opinions. Definitely agree, and I'm very excited about Arthur and Somnium Space, of course, as he'll be releasing their Afterlife tool inside of Somnium Space. For those who are not familiar with Somnium Space, it's a bit like VR Chat, but the biggest difference, however, is that it is on the blockchain technology, so you can actually buy and rent land, not just meet and talk to people. And the other thing is they're going to have a Afterlife tool using artificial intelligence, which basically will be able to take your persona, create a second you in VR, and when you're not in Somnium Space, your second you will be walking around inside of Somnium Space, looking at you and talking with your own voice, the same voice that you have in real life in VR, to other people who might interact with your second you. So that is freaking crazy. They'll be the world's first, I imagine, doing this, and we will definitely have them back on the show as well. So do hit the notification bell after you subscribe to make sure that you are notified about all these various different live streams coming on board. So guys, let me just put back the music. Sorry about that. Let me just bring down the music, as this signals basically the end of the show, guys. So if you have no more questions or anything else, guys, the next live stream will be occurring next week on June 17. Make sure to go to the focus group, as I just mentioned just now, on the VRSys channel. Go to community tab, and then please vote which game you want me to play live next week on June 17, guys. All right. But until then, lovely to spend some time with you. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for coming to the channel. You guys rock. Love you guys. I will see you in the next live stream next week on June 17. Bye, guys. Take it easy.